When I'm compiling a list of my favourite cocktails to go in the book, it's going to be dominated by boozy stirred drinks. That is my default style of drink, but this one that's going in is a sour. When you look at the recipe, it's obviously a variation on a Tommy's Margarita. The big variation is it's a split of tequila and mezcal, which got me really interested because I have been getting much more into mezcal cocktails in the last couple of years. This cocktail is called an Oaxacinite, and it's named after the Mexican state of Oaxaca, where apparently around 80% of the mezcal that makes its way around the world originates. There are 10 states that legally can make a drink and sell it as mezcal. Technically, actually, this is all mezcal because all tequila is mezcal. Like bourbon is a whiskey that meets a particular set of rules, tequila is a mezcal that meets a particular set of rules. Even some people who like tequila are a bit iffy, or can be a bit iffy, about mezcal. Of course, mezcal is not one thing. Different makers will make really unique styles. There is as much variation in the flavors and profiles of mezcal as there are in whiskeys, but the thing that stands out is the smokiness. That comes from the preparation. They're both made from agave, but with tequila, the agave heart is steamed, and with mezcal, the agave heart is roasted, which brings in that smokiness. And speaking about the tasting notes, that's of course a subjective thing. It can be something you learn how to draw out the flavors. Let's be honest, it can be a little bit wanky. Not so much with tequila and mezcal, but wow, whiskey aficionados with what they go in. They pick up a whiskey and have a sniff, go, I'm getting brioche, orange peel, ooh, some nuttiness and honey, some oak, and someone who's not that into it goes, that smells and tastes like whiskey. So my very unsophisticated tasting notes for the spirits in this cocktail: the tequila, it's very easy drinking, even though it's relatively high proof. You get that classic agave flavor and a surprising amount of sweetness. Reminds me of strawberry. It doesn't taste like strawberries, but the level of sweetness just makes me think of the type of sweetness there is in strawberries. The aroma from the mezcal is like a really nice smoked sweet barbecue sauce. The taste is actually lighter than the nose suggests. I find it's very smooth, and it leans more towards having some light citrus notes, and the smokiness is not coming through as strongly when you drink it. One more thing about the cocktail, it's recommend you do a regal shake. And what that means is shaking the cocktail with some citrus peel in with the drink. Now that might sound silly, like what difference does that make? It does actually change the taste of the cocktail, because as you shake, the ice pulverizes the peel, releasing the oils, which can change both the texture and the flavor of the cocktail. The default recipe said to use a swath of grapefruit peel. I don't actually like grapefruit, and I'm not buying a whole grapefruit for one bit of peel, so I'll be adding lime peel to this. That seemed fitting because there's lime juice in this cocktail. Well, that's all the background for the Oaxacinite. Now I will show you how to make it. In a shaker, put 1 ounce or 30 mils of blanco tequila, then 1 ounce or 30 mils of mezcal, then add 22.5 mils, 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, 22.5 mils, 3/4 of an ounce of honey syrup, then 3 dashes of Angostura bitters, and add the citrus peel you're going for the regal shake. Add ice to the shaker, shake that for 10 to 15 seconds to get chill and dilute the drink and get some of those citrus oils working through it as well. Then I'm straining that into a chilled Nick and Nora glass. I'm garnishing it with a dried lime wheel. You could of course use a fresh lime wedge as the garnish. I just happen to have the dehydrated lime wheels, so I thought I'd go with that. I love the color you get, like 3 dashes of bitters is more than you get in a lot of cocktails, and it's really lent color to it because it's colorless, the actual spirits in here, or close to colorless, slightly yellow in the mezcal, but it's got a really lovely hue. Let's see if it's as good as I remember it. It is genuinely as good as I remember. This was on my top 10 list in 2024. The difference between a Tommy's Margarita and a classic one is the Tommy's doesn't have the orange liqueur that you get in a classic margarita. It comes from a restaurant that was called Tommy's, and they wanted to really highlight the agave. They thought the orange was a distraction. I like a classic marg, I like a Tommy's, and I really like this. The smokiness, and using a honey syrup rather than an agave syrup, it's a difference. Well, I was going to say a small difference. That is going to depend on your honey, because, you know, there's honey and there's honey. Use one you like because it'll have quite an influence on the taste. I think it works really well. just change it up. If you're a margarita fan, this is a small variation that takes it in a whole new area. So the margarita template, like all the classic templates, really lend themselves to riffs and experimentation. This is one worth trying. It's called an Oaxacinite. Hope you try it, hope you enjoy it. I hope you come back and see me for some more cocktails right here. Until I do see you again, I'll say cheers.